So that's how he makes the bill float. Sometimes it is done with wires. The magician enters and, as usual, can't keep his hands off the girls. Something tells me this tall, narrow cabinet will play an important role in this next illusion. There he goes, touching the girls again. They tip the box on its side with the aid of a small pedestal that serves as a pivot. Now they tip it again to show that it can make a complete turn. It's a safe bet that someone's getting in that box. And here she is, complete with the big red arrow. I'm sure we'll find out what that's for in a minute. The magician charms her into the cabinet, which looks like a tight squeeze even for someone in peak physical condition. He opens the door on the front of the box, and there she is. It's a snug fit, all right. Barely enough room for her to exhale, but she doesn't seem to mind. One of the other assistants closes the door, and it's time for the arrow to do its thing. It's attached to the front of the cabinet to indicate which side is the top. This end up, as if we couldn't tell. The magician gives the command, and his assistants help him turn the cabinet on its side. Now for the difficult part. They complete the turn so that the arrow is now pointing down. That means the girl inside the box is doing a headstand the hard way. The assistant removes the arrow and the magician steps in to open up another door. What's this? The girl inside is right side up. And the fit is still as tight as her costume. Bet she's relieved to get out of there. And as we can see, she's unharmed and looking great from any angle. So let's recap. The magician coaxes his lovely assistant into this tall, slender cabinet. With the front door open, we can see that she's right side up. The other assistants help him flip the box over. Yet, as if by magic, the girl is still standing upright. How is this possible when there's barely enough room in the box to turn sideways? The secrets lie in the construction of the cabinet and the innocent-looking pedestal that acts as a pivot. As the girl steps into the box, she opens a small secret panel. From inside, you can see that this panel gives her access to the hollow pedestal. It's not so innocent after all. With the front door open, we can see that she's standing upright. The door is closed, and the assistant in front attaches the arrow. Then blocks the audience's view of the pedestal. This is where the secret move takes place. Here we can see how the girl inside the box steps into the pedestal and closes the secret panel to hide her legs. What a shame. From this provocative position, she's able to bend her upper body into the lower part of the cabinet, which will, of course, become the top. The move is easy to see with the front doors open. As the magician and his other assistants tip the box, the girl inside gets ready to stand up straight. She's essentially turning with the box. The assistant in front is careful to block the audience's view of the top of the pedestal. Otherwise, this is what they would see. Again, the front door of the cabinet is opened to show the girl standing as the box tips upright. It's a tight squeeze, but the girl manages to do a little twist, so she's facing forward. She swings open another secret panel on the opposite side of the pedestal and steps back into the cabinet. This is the reverse action of what she did on the other side. The front door is opened, and she's mysteriously upright. But it's not so mysterious when you know the secrets.
Next, the secrets of how straight magicians survive being sliced with carving knives. Plus, find out how to baffle the mind with the mysterious powers of ESP. Perform amazing magical transportations. And more. When magic's biggest secrets, finally revealed, returns.
Here's a trick that proves it's never a good idea to play with knives. It involves this very menacing hunting knife. Yep, it's sharp. The magician rolls up his sleeve. He's got something dangerous in store. I hope he's not doing what I think he's going to do. If you're easily shocked, now's the time to look away. He takes the knife and, ouch, cuts directly into his arm. The knife has plunged all the way through the skin and muscle, cutting close to the bone. He pulls out the knife and, as if by magic, his arm is still in one piece. But for a trick this gruesome, there has to be a secret. How does the magician make it look like he's slicing into his arm without injury? Look closely. The secret is in the knife. From the back, we can see that the blade slides out from the handle, revealing a semicircular notch. This notch is designed to match the contour of the magician's arm. When placed against the skin and rocked back and forth, the illusion is that the knife is slicing the arm. To remove it, he simply pulls the blade away from his flesh and drops the notch back into the handle. Not so gruesome after all. The magician will now demonstrate his powers of ESP. His assistants wheel in a large slate writing board. He intends to magically write on the board using an ordinary piece of chalk, just like back in school. He also has a small slate and chalk for a volunteer in his audience. Since we're in the secret warehouse, another assistant will stand in for the random audience member. Don't worry, she's not in on the trick. The magician hands her the chalk and instructs her to write a word or draw a shape on the small slate. Again, the magician hasn't told her in advance what to write. Her choice is totally random. She's written Mom and drawn 2 hearts. Aw, how sweet. The other assistants raise a curtain around the large slate so the magician has no way of touching it with the chalk. Using the power of his mind, he will now try to determine the word and shapes from the volunteer's slate. He concentrates and writes in midair. When he's done, he commands the curtain to be lowered. And there it is. Mom. But this picture isn't complete. The curtain is again raised as the magician asks his volunteer to concentrate. He focuses his mind and begins to draw again. Well, there's one random shape. And maybe one more. Let's find out. The curtain is lowered and, sure enough, it looks like he's done it again. He takes the volunteer's slate, and there you have a perfect match. The volunteer is impressed. Maybe that's how he gets all the girls. Did the magician really read the mind of his volunteer? Of course not. Here are the secrets. He selects the girl just as he would select a random audience member. Again, she's not in on it. The girl draws on the slate, holding it up for the camera to see as instructed. Now for the first big secret. The large slate is constructed with a secret hiding place in the base. It's got just enough room for another assistant to hide before the trick begins. When the small slate is held up for the camera, the assistant in the base can see exactly what's being drawn by way of a miniature TV monitor that's attached to the back of the large slate. With the curtain closed, you can see how she climbs out of her hiding place and writes on the slate. Out front, the magician is making drawing motions in midair to give the assistant time to write and sneak back into her secret compartment. When the curtain is lowered, it looks like the word has appeared by magic. Amazing. But he's not done yet. The curtain goes back up so the girl inside the compartment can finish her dirty work. She's got to add the hearts. As you can see, without the curtain, she climbs back out of her hiding place, completes the identical drawing, and quickly ducks back down into the base. The audience has no idea how the word and shapes got on the board, and neither does the volunteer. The masked magician has convinced everyone that he has mystical powers of the mind.
Next, find out how magicians slice a woman in 3 and remove her torso. Make an ordinary coin penetrate a sealed can. And invisibly fly through space through teleportation. When magic's biggest secrets finally revealed returns.
Magicians are known to put their gorgeous assistants in danger for the sake of entertainment. The Masked Man is no exception. In fact, he's mastered the art. Here's his latest torture device, a cabinet that's divided in 3. If I know the masked magician, one of his beautiful girls will meet the same fate. Here she is now. Well, the outfit's a 2-piece, so she's more than halfway there. And it looks like she knows what's expected of her as she heads straight for the back door of the box. Now that she's inside, we're deprived of her ravishing good looks. So the magician opens a peephole for us to see what we're missing. She's not that happy to see us. Maybe she knows what's coming. Now, for her left hand and a little wave. What a tease. And down at the bottom, her right foot. The fishnets are a nice touch. Let's hope we can see them again, along with the legs that go with them. Before things get dangerous, we have to say goodbye to the pretty lady. See you soon. But the magician knows we need someone to look at, so here comes another girl. This one is bearing gifts. 2 razor-sharp stainless steel blades.